Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
What time is it?
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Now Myers to win the league, yes!
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Werewolves of London.
Well, hello and welcome to the Below the Rim show, a show dedicated to the BBL. It's me, Pabz. I'm joined as always by my main man, Ads. How are you, sir? Oh, he's not well.
Do you know what? I'm in such a weird place right now. It's 10 o'clock on Monday, trying to come down from the hype of yesterday. Yeah. Someone in that arena has given me a cold.
Oh.
On the way back to Manchester, I just started sneezing. And I'm like, I've got a cold. Woke up this morning, feel dreadful. I only got rid of the last cold 2 weeks ago.
Well, you took something away from the final. Well done. For free.
Yeah, there was no pork pies this year.
We're also joined, but no, there wasn't. You took your own. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also joined by the Northern correspondent, the brave-hearted #free Grant Young. It is Grant Young.
All right, guys. I sat next to you for most of yesterday. I hope you've not made me ill. I've got too much on coming up.
Well, there you go. But what was really funny was when we went to rescue Grant and saw him walking down the corridor, and we were like, "Dude, don't let him in. Who's he?" Never heard of him. Someone's like that to me. Yeah, Grant Young. I'm like, never heard of him.
It was just I spent longer standing reception than I did on a train.
The best bit was Ads just looked at me and goes, "That's all right though. It's not like he's come from another country."
See, if I didn't get in yesterday, I would have kicked up a stink, man. I was knackered already. But hey, I got in, and what a buzzing day that was. I had so much fun.
Well, we're going to probably talk about that most on the show tonight with some great interviews, with some great chats. The highlight of the whole evening, I'm not going to speak for Ads, but was when myself and Ads interviewed Robert Youngblood for I think it was 7.5 minutes, and we didn't mention the BBL Cup Final once.
Both your wee faces was very cute.
Oh, that's blood though, man. Do
you know what though? I think there's an element of him was kind of skeptical, maybe. Like he didn't know exactly what was going on. I'm not sure how many times
as the time went on.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure he was 100% sure what he was. I'm not sure he gets requests for interviews that often.
No, which is why I opened the interview the way I did by saying, but as it went on and he relaxed and thought, actually, these two know what they're talking about. It was so much fun. What a dude.
All the name dropping,
dude,
and he's really made my life difficult because, I spend a lot of my time in my head thinking who the greatest BBL player of all time was.
He's added to your list, hasn't he?
He's always been on there or thereabouts on the list, but now coming from Robert Youngblood, it's like, yeah, Nigel Lloyd's he was the shit, and he really gave his time as well, and he's in that top 10 for so many different assists, scoring, like efficiency and all that stuff. He's up there.
Do you know what I did last night when I got in whilst uploading stuff?
Yeah.
Sat and watched Birmingham Bullets clips from the 90s.
There you go. Like,
you know what? Nigel Lloyd was the shit.
He was amazing. He was a great player. And he could throw down as well. He weren't that tall, but he could dunk. Oh, yeah. Let's start that off as well, because there was a load of negative shit about the dunk contest. Now I get it. If you weren't in the arena, you kind of didn't get the atmosphere around it, because it was buzzing. And I mean, even there was oohs and ahs. The missed dunks even were tight. Tukey was kind of. I mean, if he could have nailed a dunk in, he would have been the champ, no question.
Yeah.
Because some of his dunks were awesome, and there's an amazing shot as well of him. I think he's throwing down the 360 lefty. Yeah, it's awesome, just awesome. But I mean, how do you feel about the dunk? Because we were there. I don't know if it's different when you watch it on the TV. There's a lot of
Well, you know
I
what?
missed it.
If you watch
You
when I've
missed it.
uploaded it, Pabz, remember I've got the video of
yeah.
So, and it made it really cool. It's like, yeah, kind of what I wanted to do worked.
Yeah.
So we're spinning between the dunk and then us two.
Yeah.
Because there was some absolutely stunning dunks. I think the only problem with it is the format. Because you get like a couple of goes at it, it doesn't. The suspense isn't there. You know what I mean?
Takes the sting out, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's like when they nail the first dunk, it's like it's yes. But then when it's like the fourth, you sort of run out of holes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think it should be more ruthless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you miss a
Nick
dunk.
actually showed me the dunks. Some of the dunks were really cool.
Oh, awesome.
And I've seen them a lot online today.
Yeah.
Some of the made dunks were cool. But
I think they need to rather than a minute, you get, I don't know, maybe 2 tries max. And if you mess them up, they've got to grade you on what you've tried to do and how it's turned out. Because like you say, I think as well the selection needs to be wider. Like I wouldn't mind, even if they cut like half the amount of contestants down with each round, start with 8.
Yeah. Do more and just do it quicker. And I understand that they're on a time limit.
Yeah. To be honest, it'd have been quicker if they'd have got the ticker tape out of the fucking room.
Yeah, exactly.
That took a while.
The thing is, though, it's like with a dunk contest, you want to see a few of the stars. You know, how cool would it have been to see Taj Green in the dunk contest?
Oh, mate, yeah. But apparently every club's approached.
But it's the injury thing, isn't it? You know, it's like they don't want him to get injured. Yeah, I kind of get it. And in the modern era, it's not like it was, as we always say, back in the day when, you know, guys like Michael Jordan were in the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the All-Star game. And then
Jordan sucked in the 3-point contest, didn't he?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
You wouldn't see, you know, LeBron doing that these days.
Where do you think the stigmas come from, though? Because I thought last season was really good, and it was it Hendry, wasn't it? It was robbed.
Both Hawks players were robbed.
And didn't he miss a dunk, which meant he missed the final?
That was Jordan Harris.
Jordan Harris, yeah, because he would have been amazing.
Dunker, man. Yeah,
I thought it was the best dunker in that competition, but he fluffed a couple and he ended up not making a final. But that to me, that was a great dunk contest as well. I really enjoyed that one, and I wasn't there like in the arena, and I still enjoyed it. But I don't know, maybe I'm getting old.
I enjoyed the dunk contest. It was good. It was a lot of fun, and it's always fun when one of your mates is on the scoring table and you can tackle him. And then, you know, I love seeing legends like Clive Allen judging things like that. You know what I mean? It's this what it's all about. But all I'll say is, and I'm sure, I've never been so sure that the All-Star game will be back as now.
God, yeah.
I think it's something that the way things are going and the new owners and the new, you know, whatever, it's going to be All-Star game's back.
They did say that was one of the things they were going to look at coming back in is bringing an All-Star game.
You leave the dunk contest for the All-Star game.
And you need a 3-point contest as well. I do think they need, and we haven't had, I don't remember, if I'm honest, I don't remember ever having.
As far as I'm concerned, every game of the week is one of those. So, and Blood backed me up in that interview. Remember? When he was like, their guys shoot a lot of threes now. They don't.
He did. Yeah. Yeah, they used to guard the paint.
Yeah.
He used to say, if you come in the paint, you're going to leave with some damage.
Yeah. That's right. But the fact that, you know, that is word for word what guys like Trez say every week, you know that it's real. You know what I mean?
100%.
But hey.
Do you not think, though, see if we had a 3-point contest and amongst an All-Star game, it's just going to involve more guys that would maybe not get a chance to play. Like, the first person that comes to mind selfishly is like Johnny Bunyan in a 3-point competition would be brilliant.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get selected for a All-Star game if it was Brits versus Americans or however we do it. But guys like Johnny, from selfish again, Fraser Malcolm are great 3-point shooters.
Mm-hmm. And the guys that everybody knows, you know what I mean? The guys that people know, But like you say, it'd be tough for them to be selected to an All-Star game just because of the names they'd be up against.
That's
But it was interesting.
Dirk Williams was very vocal, wasn't he?
Was he?
On Twitter. Yeah, he's up for it. He wants a 3-point shootout.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's shooting some crazy balls at the moment and making everything. But it's amazing, like, when you look at the dunk contest, and I get teams are like injuries, whatever else, and that's where, like, and I'll probably plug it a few times through this show. Like, I've got my interview with Steve Timoney coming out, and they're talking about like changing up like the standard BBL contract and actually protecting guys from injuries.
Nice.
Like, too many guys, if they're like, oh well, if you get injured in the dunk contest, you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not right. So it was something that he was saying, well, that's changing a lot of things that this league doesn't probably do well, is look after players. So if players knew they were going to be protected or guaranteed they'd get their money at the end of the day, maybe that would up the standard of the dunk contest, for example, because there's loads of guys that from teams that were not at the like someone like who am I thinking of? Obviously, Taj Green's the main one. Even someone like Hassan French, I imagine. Not Hassan French. Who's the guy at Eagles that just signed?
Justin Gordon.
Justin Gordon.
Yeah.
Like, imagine even Dirk Williams.
Justin Gordon.
I mean, there's a lot of guys with some serious hops, and if they're doing those show dunks in games, there's more chance of getting hurt doing it in a game than in a dunk contest.
Yeah.
Patrick, the Wang, the Surrey guy.
Oh yeah,
despite the fact he missed that 360 when it happened, it was like, oh my god, he missed it, but he clearly can get up there.
Is it wrong that I'm considering when the time comes for the below the rim awards at the end of the season? I'm considering making a category just for him, and it'd be the What If Award, because that guy must have more what if spectacular missed dunks than anybody else I've seen this season. He had 3 in one night at Pavilions, like proper facial dunks.
1 or 2 in Glasgow as well, yeah.
But it hits the one in Manchester I'm thinking of, if I remember rightly. He went flying in for a dunk, and it hit the back of the rim so hard it took off the half court. But Taj Green was there, and he grabbed it and threw it down the other end.
Yeah, no, that was insane. That one, It literally bounced to the rafters. But it's that thing that when he does it, I'd look straight at the coach, and they're like, "Oh, for God's," you know what I mean? It's like don't be doing that in games like this, which we need to win.
You need the point. I mean? Yeah, you need the points. You need a nice easy layup is what you need there. Just put it in.
Just a finger roll, that'll be fine.
Just an easy layup.
There was some. I'd bring it to light. We mentioned it in our group chat. I don't want to necessarily name names, although it is out there for everyone to see. There were some pretty shitty comments about the in-house commentator in the arena. Without any kind of substance, the guy, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it immensely. Like, I thought the guy was really good, but I understand it's Hosanna. He's had some difficulties, health-wise.
It was great seeing him back in the mic.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just fucking watch what you say before you say it, because these are people, and there's things going on behind the scenes you may not know about. And like you say, to have him back on the mic was awesome.
It's
also, you go, Ads, you go.
No, you go, Grant.
Okay. But also, like, if that's what fans of a certain team want to moan about after a game, like, come on. We've just had a great final.
Yeah.
London have won by single figures. Like, your team was in it. You don't need to get all nitpicky about how an announcer is calling names or whatever else. Like, I'll get over yourselves.
But this is the other thing. If you're talking about that, we all do it. Like, as commentators, some of the first, and it sounds crazy, but some of the first names are as memorable as surnames. So if you're talking about Ramon Fletcher, it's Fletcher or Ramon. Nobody really says Fletcher very often. And that's not necessarily down to the stature of the guy. We're the same with players down at Pavilions, when we're calling the Patriots game or whoever comes to say Dirk Williams is Dirk. You just call him Dirk, don't you? Doesn't matter what team he plays for, how good he is.
Bro, when I'm commentating, I usually use first names more than second names.
But with someone like Sam Decker, for example, it's the surname.
Yeah, Decker.
Yeah.
You've got to think about, this is something I think about a lot, because you've got to think about the player and the name. So you think back to all right, let's use an easy one, the NBA. When Marv Albert or whoever's commentating the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, they'd often refer to Rodman as Dennis.
And Michael Jordan as Michael.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas as Isaiah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, that's 40 for Michael tonight. You know, Magic Johnson was Magic.
Yeah.
You know
Kareem.
what I mean?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was Kareem.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do it a lot. I sometimes am conscious that I do it more for the team that I'm commentating for. So with the Magic,
you know them a bit better, yeah.
Yeah, you know them, so you call them by their first names. But I try to do it a bit with the other team as well. So I ain't got a problem with that. I think it makes the game more personable, more fun, and there's nothing wrong with it. But for me, the only comment I make on it is that classic thing of, it's a generational thing where there's a lot of new people around the game, which is what we all want, but they don't understand some of the people that have been there for a long time before. Because it's like, if you know the name Hosanna,
you know. Yeah,
you know.
100%. Best gear, incidentally, the Hosanna gear.
Yep.
What a uniform that was back in the day. They had the league uniform and the Bears uniform through that period with the wider shoulders. Oh, mate, it was unreal. I love that. It went very and one, didn't it, for a bit, like that that kind of wide, baggy. Yeah, awesome. That out of the way, in terms of the final itself, any shocks? I mean, you shocked by the result in any way? Go on, Grant.
I think probably the only thing I was shocked about was how gritty it was throughout. I loved that. But I loved it. I kind of aggro between teams. Obviously, we were near the Leicester bench and watching Rob's just entertaining his own, and we should probably try and get a camera on him.
Yeah, we need Rob Cam. That was just brilliant.
Because some of his absolutely astounding. Yeah.
But it was just a good hard game of basketball. Like, you know what? No team left anything not on the floor.
No.
I thought it was a really good advert for our game.
I agree. Ads, my man?
Well, I was rooting for Leicester, as everybody knew, and everyone kept saying, no chance. And I was like, but it's Leicester. What's wrong with everyone? It's like, yeah, the Lions are great. They've got this deep squad, yada. But it's Leicester. And when you look at the final score of 79-71, that's not a blowout. There was people saying this is going to be a blowout. And I'm saying, no, it's not going to be a blowout. It's not a blowout. It's Leicester. And if you look at some of the stats and you're going, okay, well, Mark Lovin, my favourite player, probably had his worst game of the season.
Yeah, they shut him down.
In a lot of ways. They shut him down, which is props to them. But had Mark Lovin had a normal Mark Lovin game, it's a different scoreline. I'd said it during the broadcast we did. Someone needed to get hot on scoring, and no one did for Leicester. It's a low-scoring game. And I think that 79-71, you know, it's not a blowout. It's not a nail biter by any means. There was a time when Leicester brought it to within 2?
Yeah.
Did they get it lower than that? Yeah. And it's like, look, here they go.
I think I was beside you at the time, Ads, and we were saying, like, they had a chance to go.
You even. And me, because I was obviously freaking out every time they scored, going, come on. Especially
they got a couple
Patrick.
of stops, didn't they, as well? Yeah.
And it's like, Grant just turned around and went, we've got a ball game. I was like, hell yeah, we've got a ball game. There's 4 minutes to go in a final between Leicester and London. Rob Paternostro's the head coach of Leicester. The Mackenzie was off the chart. He was awesome. I can't believe his index for the game, just looking at it now, was only 8. Because he put a shift in that guy.
Yeah, he looked like he was going hell for leather whenever he touched the floor. Yeah, whenever he was on the court. Is there? I don't want to. This is not going to sound. I was talking. I think with Josh Bett. It was mainly we were talking about worst case, best case scenario for the Riders, particularly. Worst case scenario being blowout, 20-point plus blowout. But the best case scenario we could come up with was them losing by 10. That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're both wrong.
Well, only just. They beat their best case scenario slightly.
But they did have a chance, though. It was actually really interesting watching the game. I feel like they selected or horrific shot choice or didn't get back in defense quick enough when the game got that close. And London do what they did best, and the guy MVP and Sam Decker, they gave it to Decker. Decker ball was in full flow, and you know what? I can watch that guy in the BBL all day. The full time he was on the court, 30. What did he play in the end? 30
minutes, 47 seconds, 22 points, 9 rebounds,
minutes.
1 assist. Yeah.
The full 30 minutes he was on the floor, he looked like he was the only guy able to score with every touch.
Yeah, I think, Grant, you turned to me because he scored, I think, 4 points on the bounce. It was almost like he's going to take over now. And then he came down the floor and he hit 2 buckets and made it look easy. But the interesting thing was, now I was buzzing about this because it's a Magic alumni player, was that Aaron Menzies started. So when I saw him going out onto the floor, I was like, right, Rob's going for this because he knows that he's got this 7-2 giant that's going to have to go to... Someone's got to try and contain Kufos.
Yeah.
And, Aaron's he's not like a rookie, but he's still a young player. That's a big stage for him to play on. So super proud of him for being in the game. I'm Patrick, Magic alumni all the way. But, we were talking during the game and trying to control Kufos he's a handful. I
thought he did a good job at the start of the game.
He did a good job.
I wish he offered more on offense. I wish he offered a little bit more.
Well, that's the thing. A guy that size, you're thinking, God, just get the ball into him in the paint and see what happens because he is a big, big guy.
It was maybe that was his only assignment was defense. We'll work
maybe,
the offense with Kimball, Whelan, Jackson, and Loving round him.
And that would have been Rob's thing. He just said, right, try and keep Kufos' numbers down. Leave the offense to the guys that you just mentioned, obviously. And I thought he did a pretty good job, to be honest, because Kufos is a handful as well.
Yeah, they're so big though as well. The Lions, they kind of dominate. Like you said, when they got it, the Riders got it close. They pushed it close, closed the gap to 6 points or 4 points, whatever it was, and it looked like, wow, we've got a ball game. But what I guess where the Lions benefit in that kind of situation is it's visible. They've made the Riders work so hard for every small thing they can get.
Yeah.
And late in the game, the Lions, they just look fresher because it's just, and it's no fault of the Riders. It's just the caliber of player they are. They've maybe got what they wanted a little bit easier. And when it's come to that high pressure moment, and everybody on the Riders team at least seems like they're flagging a bit. The Lions guys just had that bit of extra composure and saw the last 4 minutes out, and they had and like you said, they got Sam Decker. Give the ball to Sam Decker. He's not going to fuck it up, is he?
For me, just watching the game as it was happening, it was all about Decker and Kufos. When I look at the stats, it was all about Decker and Kufos. Ovi Soko had a pretty decent game. He obviously fouled out early in the fourth quarter.
There wasn't a foul out, though. I don't know if you want to talk about this ridiculous offensive.
Well, there was
some really
bollocks foul again.
Goals, wasn't there?
A couple, but it's I'm sure, and reading the stat sheet confirmed it. If you look at the highest scorer on Leicester's team, it was Zach Jackson with 16 points. Okay, now Zach Jackson's 16 points. That's fine for him. Okay, but what you need is Mark Loving hitting his average for the season, which is 22.5. Yeah. You need that, probably 30 points. Yeah. Patrick gave the sort of performance he needs to give with his 15 points and his assists and his work rate. You've got to have somebody. We've talked about this before. To win games like that, you've got to have someone that hits between 25 and 30 points. You've got to have your 16 to 20 point guys in there as well. You've got to have you guys scoring 10, 12 points. Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a low scoring game when you look at it, by modern day standards. It's not that was a scoring blitz. 79-71 is nothing, is it?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It
was
wasn't high
interesting though,
scoring.
looking at how little London used their bench in terms of they only really went 9 deep.
Yeah.
So Ovi got foul trouble. Like Josh Ward-Hibbert's played a lot of minutes this season. Mo Solowadis has started a lot of games this season. Josh Sharma only played 10 minutes. Like, it was amazing that, like, the change come to a big game, how it was. Even Taylor playing 32, Decker 30, and then other guys between the next 6 guys all playing 20 odd minutes. Zubcic was one that really interested me. I thought he would have, like, been better than he did in terms of, like, matchup-wise, he should be uncontested, like a 4-man at that height. Like the boys, when these guys were walking by us when we were
huge,
the 2 guys, the size of that guy.
Yeah. And he stays on the perimeter, doesn't he? He plays like a wing.
And he can dribble the ball, but yeah, he didn't shoot a single 3 on looking at the stats now again, and I don't remember him, and I feel like he didn't have the bestest of games either. But what a day, like from like Luke Nelson chirping away at Robert towards the start.
Well, that's one player we've not mentioned that I really enjoyed watching. I thought he was, in terms of minutes played, I can't remember. I thought he was on the floor for longer than he was, but he was only 23 minutes. 11 points, 3 assists, index to 12, but I don't know, he looked so smooth. He hit a couple of big jump shots and hit that 3 early on. I really enjoyed watching him play. I thought he looked great.
Well, here, I've got something for you, okay? The thing I like looking at on live stats is when you actually go under the stats column, and you know they've got the blue and red columns as to who's got what. Check this out. Total rebounds, both teams 38. Total assists, both teams 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And all of them are within a couple of digits, apart from steal. Well, even that, 10 to London, 8 to Leicester. So again, it's all within a couple, right? But when's the last time you heard this statistic? 4 from 12 for 33% from 3 for Leicester. When did you ever hear such a low amount of 3-point shooting from Leicester?
We said that during the game that we're like, Leicester aren't taking anywhere near them at 3s.
Chased them off the 3-point line.
6 from 19, 31%. You know, it just wasn't a normal game.
Still not a lot of 3s, is it? Really? Yeah.
It's nothing. And I'm the one that bleats on about there being too many 3-pointers. So I'm just going, well, in a way, I've kind of got my own way a little bit. But even 2-point and field goals, both teams virtually the same, 65
Look at the free throw percentages. Look at free throw percentages. Both teams struggled from the line at times.
I know, it was weird. At one point, Lions were like 78%. That was the highest they got to.
So once again, all we've got is a dead heat, really. Lions didn't convincingly beat Leicester.
No, not at all.
They beat Leicester by 8 points. It's not they really blew them out. Leicester hung with them. They went down too many points is the problem that they had. They when they found themselves 20 down or whatever it was in the third quarter.
Biggest lead for London was only 16.
16 points,
16. Yeah. But against London, I had Nicholson chirping down my other ear going, there's no way they're going to come back from this, because even if they do get 16 points quickly, London are going to score points on top of that. And every time they didn't score and Leicester did, I was like, Paul, check it out. And he's going, all right, okay. Because Leicester shut them down for a little while.
It did. So, that was the difference as well. Is that we were saying this at the point when there's 16 points up, and we were watching the game thinking it doesn't look like a 16-point game. Like
no, and it wasn't.
It didn't look like there was a huge gap between the two. The difference is the quality on the Lions punish turnovers more frequently, if you like, with more success rate, with a higher percentage than the Riders did. What the Riders managed to do late on was turn that around a bit, get some stops, and actually turn them into baskets. That really started to change.
Well, we spoke to Patrick Whelan after the game. I'm sure you're going to play the interview in a minute, Pabz. But Patrick said that they missed easy layups, they missed free throws. What did he say? They left points on the floor, and they did. It's as simple as that.
Well, Pat, commiserations. I really thought at the end of the game there you were coming back into it. It got interesting at the end there. How are you feeling? I mean, this is tough because obviously you've been so dominant over the years. As Leicester, London have come in, they've got a deep bench, but I was sat behind the basket going, they'll get back into it, and you did.
Yeah, I mean, we left a lot of points out there. Missed layups, missed free throws. I think that was really the game. We missed free throws in big key moments and missed layups in big key moments, and they have good players who are going to make plays. So yeah, really solid team we played against, and I think we had a good showing of ourselves. But you know, we're not in tomorrow victories. We want to win.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, tough one to take for sure.
Plus, you've had a change of personnel this week as well. So has that affected you guys a little bit? Do you think?
Not really. I think our consistent rotation was still there. You know, obviously we've been without an import point guard, if you want to say it like that, for a little while. But you know, other guys step up. Kimball's been great for us all season.
He was great today.
So
he had a great game.
That's the name of the game for us, and we'll keep going for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Pat, I swear, I didn't realise this interview was going to happen. I'm glad it did, but the Below the Run podcast, you're in our five every week, bro.
Appreciate it.
We got nothing but love for you. Cheers. And I know everybody back at the Magic. Super proud seeing you and Aaron out there. You'll be back, bro.
Thanks.
Thank you, man.
Go on, Grant, what were you going to say?
Yeah, it's similar. And just kind of both teams, Leicester kind of did it second half more so. But first half, it was as if every time a shot went up, whoever's the front court for London were halfway up the court already. Like the amount of times that London would rebound the ball and then there would already be a guy under the basket at the other end. Leicester started doing that second half.
Yeah.
Like Whelan got a couple, or I think Whelan got a couple of steals, or Kimball got a couple of turnovers, and Leicester were off down the court. But you're right, they missed, probably because they were contested layups, they missed a lot round the hoop. Nelson Henry, to his favour, made a lot of big shots towards the end, actually, got some space under the hoop.
Yeah, he did. He really kept him in it in a lot of ways. But he looked tired at the end of the game. He was blowing. But, you know, I come back to the same thing, and it's not just because he's my favourite player. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. But for Mark Loving to come out of that game, 7 points and 4 rebounds, when he's averaging 23 and 6 a game, all you're thinking is, what if he had just gone off and done what he does?
Good scouting by London. I think it was Pabz, you and I last week said that all it will take them to do is to really shut down one of them three guys. And
they chose the right one. Yeah, they chose the right one because they're thinking, well, this is a guy that can pretty much do anything.
Well, he's been the guy.
Dangerous, but Patrick isn't going to go to the hole like Mark Loving does. You know what I mean?
Mark Loving's had some success against the Lions, hasn't he?
Yeah. He knows them. He was the guy that they probably thought, right, he's the one we're going to have to shut down, and we'll just deal with what Patrick and Kimball throw at us.
You know the what if award? What if? Remember that dunk that Zach Jackson attempted? Imagine he'd thrown that down.
Yeah.
I think we would have flipped our table.
I think so. But I mean, on the whole, you know, once you actually come back down to earth from what a great day it was and a great event, was it a classic final? Not really. It was a decent enough game. But I just think that the whole thing felt like, this is a party for London today because the women are going to win, the men are going to win, and it's all about London, which is partly why I was so desperate for Leicester to fuck it up for them.
But then how you guys got such a good kind of bit of time with like 5+ minutes or so chatting to Decker, and
he was
what a guy, what an ambassador he is for our game.
Yeah. I mean, to have a guy like that, yeah, he was a gentleman, such a nice guy. Really patiently answered a lot of questions in the press area afterwards, and he was good. You know, it's tough, isn't it? Because you sort of thinking, is this guy going to be okay to interview, or will he be a bit spiky? But no, he was a pleasure to talk to, and yeah.
And he rinsed dust as well, saying not above the rim. Nah.
Yeah, well, we need to post that little video because
we did it. I did it.
He was up for a bit of banter as well, so I was like guys that are up for a bit of a banter.
Yeah. He said he would come on the show, so hopefully we can get him one.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. I tip my cap to Sam Decker. What a dude!
And you hope with the kind of growing presence of the league, we'll attract more guys like Decker to the league. Because imagine someone like if every team had a Decker who was able to get involved and was able to be such a media darling almost. Like, he was brilliant. Like, we were third people to speak to him. He'd already done about 10 minutes. Like, he just wants to go and celebrate his teammates, and he's still giving us 5+ minutes. So good on you, Sam. Get yourself on the show. Get your mic ready.
I was surprised there weren't more people waiting to talk to him.
Well, I mean, he probably, because we had to wait a long time, so he's probably getting it on the court, wasn't he? So, he'd have done interviews out back in the arena, because we stood out there for a good 10, 15 minutes, didn't we?
Yeah. It was good, though. It was great spectacle. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, great day. And, all I can say is that, the BBL pulled it out. It was amazing. The arena looked stunning. The light, it was great. The pyrotechnics were great. The presentation, it was great. It made you feel proud to be, a long-time BBL fan.
Definitely.
And let's do it again in Glasgow.
Great. Yeah, let's do it again in Glasgow.
I tell you what, as well, that I really liked, but also frustrated me at the same time, was that the Titantron type thing in the middle of above the court, the screen on that was better quality than my telly at home.
Well, how good was that?
Unbelievable! It was like 4K, like 8K maybe. I don't know. It was insane. So clear.
Yeah, but
imagine if all clubs had them.
Yeah, that's what the idea is. We heard it from the CEO himself.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing was, it was great because events like that, they sort of have a bit of a family feel to them. So it's great catching up with people that around the media section. Just to the right of us, it was great seeing Jordan Whelan on the front row with his dad supporting Pat. There's faces in the crowd. You see the Lions came on to watch the end of the women's game, and the women were all, watching the men's game. You're plucking out, there's so and so. Clive Allen's in the house doing the dunk contest, and you see players past and present. We all stood and chatted with Dominique Allen and her sister, Whitney. So it's just a nice gathering of everyone just being around and
you guys had a good chat with Will Neighbour as well, and
Will
nice.
Neighbour. Me and Pabz had a chat with Mike Tuck. So it's just good seeing everyone together in one place. And
me and Grant accosted Ant Rowe as well, didn't we?
Yeah, well, he's trying to do his job. Yeah. And it's great to meet
that lovely turtleneck he had on.
Do you know what? Was really funny at one point, and I don't know what. I mean, I guess I had a lanyard on, so maybe they thought I had some power or something. I wasn't walking past. There's some old woman in the front row, flagged me down. I was like, oh God, she can't be a listener, surely. She wanted me to ask the cameraman to move because he was in the way.
Brilliant.
And I was like, nah, you won't listen to me. I just carried on walking.
Yeah. But yeah, it was nice. The CEO came down to the media area and had a chat with everyone, and he gave us a few minutes. And it was really nice to meet Joe.
Shout out Joe! Yeah,
Joe,
great guy. I enjoyed.
His first. I think that was his first major event, like a final, wasn't it? And
I think most likely.
The boy done good.
Not half.
The boy done good.
Smashing nicey, not off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It was impressive.
I've got to say as well, the programme is lovely.
It's good, isn't it?
The game programme is a good one.
It's a more manageable size than I've ever seen before as well. Normally it's 84. Size. Yeah, can't even get it in your bag. Yeah.
Content was great.
You guys just aged horribly in the last two. The programme was a good size. Was the font size okay for you?
No, that needs to be bigger. We both, I think myself and Ads probably told every single exec we spoke to there that the last time we were there, well, for me it was 2003. For Ads, it was late 90s, and I remember sitting over there. I'm pointing to the right of the thing when Nick Nurse brought the cup up for us all to pass around, and Brighton Bears beat Chester Jets, and Ads was there. They lost to
London.
Towers, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and me
I've been twice for the Rocks, both losses. I think one was both Newcastle. I think both were Newcastle, probably.
Tough times. It looks so much just better. Just looked better.
I think the whole setup, like the whole arena, looked just so much more professional,
clean.
Well, where we walked in, and you go in and you literally go through a curtain and you're in there, you just look around and go, Jesus, this is good. This is impressive. This is really nice.
Good job, BBL. Well done. Next topic, just briefly, unless there's anything else you want to talk to in terms of Cup?
I think we've covered it.
Good. I think you're right. But saying BBL, I'm hearing I don't know what sort of stage they're in terms of rebrand. There is a rebrand imminent, and obviously it won't probably take shape until next season. We won't see anything about it, but will we be saying BBL next season?
Well, who knows? They're throwing a few curveballs in this new group, aren't they? And
I know there's been a few things said about Googling BBL. I must admit I've not encountered any of them other than Big Bash League. But some of the stuff that Nicholson comes out with, the Brazilian bum lifts or something, I can't remember. It's weird. It is weird shit. I don't know what's going on with his cookie settings.
Nicholson's search engine is probably very colourful, but at the end of the day, right? Yeah, it's that one. I always have it with WBBL. It takes you to the Australian Women's League.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So I don't know. Would they change from BBL? What would they change it to? The BBA, British Basketball Association.
Yeah, but that was done, wasn't it?
That's already been that was tried and failed.
PBA, the Premier League Basketball Association, as well.
I mean, I don't know about you. I'm good with BBL.
I love it.
It says what it's on the tin, isn't it?
Just got to stop looking up the dodgy stuff so they don't get it instead.
Well, weird. Yeah, that's odd. Nicholson, mate, you go blind. It's enough slander of Nicholson. He's not here to defend himself. Bless him. He had a tough week last week, working hard in the office and after hours, and obviously, I think he left for Birmingham at like 5 or 6 in the morning to get up there, and obviously never got back till like 10:30, 11 at night. So he was
a keen bean, wasn't he? He was up in Birmingham nice and early.
He was literally the first person there.
Well, he was telling me all the stuff we had coming up, like obviously, and he told me I was late. He said you were late. He told me everything. I was like, all right, okay.
I was late.
Yeah, you were late. I was in my hotel. Campanile, Birmingham.
I thought Pabz would be like on the we're the first here tip, but I phoned him like, where are you? He was like, I was just packing our stuff at the hotel.
Yeah,
I'm like,
making the most of the buffet breakfast, filling the old stomach.
Did you guys try the sweet potato curry and naan bread?
Did we bollocks? It all got the greedy media bastards had eaten the lot.
Yeah, it was very nice.
I couldn't even get a bottle of water.
No, found an apple for the missus. That was it. Our assistant. I should stop saying the wife. Our assistant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did a very good job on the day. Bit of camera work. Got told to stop filming, and then got told to carry on filming because she was with us.
It was just brilliant. Our security too.
Yeah. Everything.
And I want to shout out Kaz as well from Focus Hoops.
Yeah, great job.
With putting up with us all day because it was like, I mean, there was one bit during the game which I loved. Right, remember that woman that was, I don't know who she was, but she was in a Leicester jersey. And all the Leicester fans had massive heads of players.
The big heads of players, yeah.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she made a beeline for the edge of the court during a free throw and started waving. Whose face was it? Kimball McKenzie.
I think it was Kimball.
And everybody around the media tables was just sort of looking and frowning and shaking their heads until she was scoring off. The below the rim table is in stitches going, that's the biggest thing I've seen all day, because whoever it was missed the second free throw as well.
It's Ovi, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was Ovi.
Yeah. Did he not miss the ball?
He missed a boat, yeah.
He missed it, yeah. And she was escorted out.
Put him off.
Oh, man, it killed me. But yeah, just Kaz, you were a star filming for us, and she got some great interviews with from the WBBL final and in the press conference as well. So
great work, great work, well done. fellas, do you want to try and... I don't know how different we're going to be on it. We've not really talked about the league fixtures that took place, and rightly so. Pat's lost again. Flyers got the win over the Gladiators. Giants got a win fairly close against the Scorchers. Were you there for that, Ads?
Yep. Yeah.
Lions obviously earlier on in the week got the win. When was that? 26th over Cheshire in a quite a tight affair. Actually, that one was quite interesting. That could have gone either way, but obviously the Lions do what they do and they pull things out at the end and stay calm and focused. If you got a BTR 5 for me, because I'll read out what I've got. I've got this is in no particular order. Patrick Tape, I thought in a loss, still performed extremely well. Watson Gay off the bench was just an absolute spark for that team. Larry Austin against the Lions just looked just every bit the tenacious defender, but his offense for me has really jumped up this season compared to last season. I don't know if that will match up statistically, but he just was more of a defensive player last season. This season he's taken on some scoring as well. Taj Green for his big man performance and huge 3-point shots as well, which we're not always that commendable of in terms of, you know, the size of the guy and what he should be doing, maybe going inside and that, but he hit some big threes in that game. And of course, the Cup MVP, Sam Decker. That's the 5 I've got. You guys got anything to chuck in the mix there? I've probably missed a few.
I actually don't think that'd be my 5. Instantly, the ones just popped to my head. Decker, I thought Patrick Tape was brilliant. Watson Gale, I'm a huge fan of. Taj Green, absolutely. I'm just trying to see if I could find the Austin stat line, just because I can't remember, but he did stand out for them. So, you know what? I'm all up for going with what you've said.
Yeah, Larry Austin his index was 27.
All right, he's good.
26 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, and 4 fouls. And he was fouled 9 times. I thought he was great. Adds anyone to pop in there?
I can't remember anything before the weekend, to be honest. So yeah, that'll do.
Good. That'll do for that one.
Bonus degree so fast.
It is. It is. It's all right. It's good. I'm enjoying my last Christmas cider at the moment. The Aldi poached plum and blackberry, and it's hitting the spot. Right, let's go and come back and finish things off with some predictions. Tough week for ads, but let's talk about it in a sec. See you in a sec. It's that time of the evening, or morning, depending on when you're listening to this, for us to rattle through our predictions and see who came unstuck or whatnot. Ads, the only prediction we got from Ads was Riders. Or did you want to do your predictions now?
What, after the game's happened again?
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's what I do now.
I would be inclined
what
to
were
give
the
you...
games? I'll be honest, what were the games?
Lions, Knicks.
I'd have chose Lions.
Giants. Who did the Giants play? Well, you were there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Giants,
I'd
sorry.
have obviously picked Giants.
Pats, Sharks.
I'd have picked Pats.
And Flyers, Gladiators.
I'd have picked Flyers.
Well, I mean...
It's up to you. I've been honest. I lose a point for one of them, but the other ones... You know me. You know how I vote.
Yeah.
On a week-in, week-out basis.
I mean, I'm happy to give you a couple for that.
Just give me 2 points.
I mean, Lions goes without saying, although you voted the other way in the final, but then we kind of knew you were going to do that anyway.
Yeah. And then Giants, I'd have always rooted for Giants. I always root for Plymouth. And just to piss Grant off, I'd have picked the Bristol Flyers over Caledonia.
Well, we all effectively then picked the Lions. Giants got the win as well. Pats didn't get the win, so me and Nicholson
I went Chef.
and Ads balls that one up. I did pick the Flyers. Grant and Nicholson went Gladiators. And then, of course, oh, God, I've given you 11 there, Nicholson. Riders came up short and the Lions took the win on that one. Let's total it up. So Nicholson, 61, 64 for Nicholson. Grant, 65.
Come on, he takes the lead.
Ads were given 59.
Shit.
We're giving.
And I'm up to 64 for me. So 65, 2 64s, and a 59. All still to play for. Again, as always. And we got a lot of fixtures. And a double header for us. Sam Decker's coming to town on Sunday, and I didn't know. So Nicholson hadn't told me about that one. I don't.
Sky on Friday.
Oh, you're the Sky game, are you? I couldn't work it out because there's two 7:45 tip-offs. I didn't know if it was Leicester was going to be the Sky game. It was Giants. That'll be a good game as well. We'll get to that. Let's Friday the 3rd then. First fixture on the docket. Eagles are the home team. Sharks are the visitors. Nicholson's not mailed his in. This could be a shit week for Nicholson.
Hey, you'll listen to this, and this we'll all get a text with his predictions by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so.
Ads always gets to pick his after the game's been played, so why can't I do it?
Oh, we've got a lot of games as well, Nicholson. You'll be missing out.
Yeah. Grant, my man, where are you going with this one? Eagles at home, Sharks on the road. This is a tough one to predict, isn't it?
Not really.
Eagles. We talked about it last week about if Eagles get these wins, they'd be basically tied with Sheffield. So I'm going Eagles.
Ads, my man, where are you going?
Sheffield.
I'm going Eagles, I'm afraid. I don't know where Nicholson's going, but I'm going Eagles. I agree, that could be a banana peel for the Sharks, and the Eagles are the team with more to lose. They're hunting them down now. Next up, the Southwest Derby. I've got to make 2 videos this week. I don't know if I'm going to have time. Plymouth City Patriots, the home team. The Bristol Flyers, the visitors. Well, I'm going to go Flyers. Ads, my man.
Flyers.
Flyers, they're so good. It's really difficult to pick against them. I know we have the it's almost comical discussion as to whether they're legit or not, even though we're over halfway done in the season and they're still second. I think they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come to you first for this one. Ads, Grant, Giants at home, Gladiators the visitors.
Well, if anything, if our home form is anything to go off, it's going to be another nail biter with potential overtime, because that's just what is happening at the moment.
As long as there's no goaltends, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to go Giants, but I'm expecting it to be another close one. It's just the brand of basketball that we're playing at the moment, and sometimes I don't think we need to, but yeah, there it is.
I'm torn with this one. Grant, you going Glads?
Yep, I think with another week of our new guys being in, we should be good.
I'm torn with this one because obviously it's a really good matchup. I feel like it's certainly the best game potentially. I mean, Eagles Sharks should be a good game as well, but Giants Caledonia, they're around the same spot in the table as well, aren't they? So they're trying to get one on top of each other. William Lee's pretty much back, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll go Giants.
He'd come back last time against Gladiators. That was his first or second game back.
Yeah.
So he'll be in full flow. I'll go Giants. We'll see how that one turns out, but I'll be tuning in for that, no doubt. No, I won't be, will I? Because I'll be calling the Patriots game. And the last one for Friday.
Paul, sorry. Can we commentate on the Manchester game? Can we just watch that instead of this game?
Riders, Scorchers. Riders the home team, Scorchers the visitors.
Riders.
Raiders.
Yeah. No sort of hangover?
Yeah.
They're good.
No, I agree. Riders. I will say, though, traditionally, and this may affect your selections for the Sunday games. We've got one Saturday game just to go through quickly. But traditionally, the team that wins the cup, I believe, doesn't actually perform that well in the second half of the season after that. Cheshire
That
Phoenix
team doesn't normally have Sam Decker, though.
That's very true. It's not a normal team. But Cheshire Phoenix famously, with CJ Getty's, won the cup and then didn't qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah.
They just plummeted out of it. They couldn't get a win after that. And I think the Eagles was a similar situation where they won the cup and then they really struggled. They kind of hung around fourth. And then, of course, Fletch. In fact, I might answer that question that I got from on the emails from somebody regarding a question with Fletch and Gino. Yeah, I may tackle that just before we sign off. But the last one or the only one I should say, for Saturday, 6 p.m. tip-off. Surrey Scorchers, the home team. Manchester Giants on a both teams on a back-to-back. Giants, the visiting team on that second occasion. Grant, Scorchers got enough to beat the Giants at home?
Nah. I'm saying nah, but they've... That's probably one game going Manchester. Not overthinking it. Going Manchester. Giants will have too much for them just. But Surrey are a team not to really bet against too often, but I think Giants.
That's my man.
Giants.
Yeah, I'll go Giants as well. But I see what you're saying, Grant. They're starting to put stuff together, and we've been saying that for a while now. But
how they played last week against Surrey, how Surrey played last week against Manchester, and Manchester really impressed me. And they had a decent lead at one point. So yeah. I think that sums up how Manchester play at home, though. So it'll be interesting to see that game on the flip being away. But still, Giants.
They definitely made them work for it. And then Sunday, the 5th, lead in the evening, 3 p.m. tip-off. Plymouth City Patriots, home team. London Lions, the visitors. London Lions they've got a tough old week. So they've had the Cup Final. They're in Europe Wednesday night. They've got a game.
And it's not just Europe. They're in pretty deep, not deepest, darkest, but that's not a short airfare. They're not just France or Spain or...
No, it's a tough...
Montenegro, I think they are.
Tough journey. They got 2 in Europe. Have they got another one on the... I think I misread that. I didn't know if they had 2 games in Europe this week. I don't know why I saw that. No, that wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, Patriots home, Lions are visitors. I'm assuming Nicholson's going to take the Pats, which I'm a fan of. I like that. I'm not going to take the Lions. Ads, my man.
Lions.
Go on.
London Lions.
Yeah, it's tough to bet against them, against anybody, isn't it, at the moment? 5 p.m. tip-off, Caledonia Gladiators home, Sheffield Sharks, the visitors. Grant, Sharks got enough?
Nah, going Gladiators. However, their new guys look alright. Their new guys are looking okay.
Yeah.
That they've brought in. Flowers has a bit of range on his shot, so it'll be interesting to see how we match up with them. I did think early in the season we were a good match for them and caused them a lot of trouble, but no, I think we should have at home on Sunday. I'm buzzing for a Sunday game at home. Far too many Friday nights for me recently.
Ads, my man.
Lads.
Yeah, I'll go Glads as well. Oh, it could have been a good zag, that one, couldn't it? Sharp.
Nicholson will now zag, won't he?
I think you might do. I think you might be right. 5:30 tip-off, bringing this predictions to an end. Cheshire Phoenix, the home team. Newcastle Eagles, the visitors. I'm going to go Knicks because I've been so impressed with how they've played of late. We did give them, me in particular maybe, gave them a little bit of a hard time, probably unjustly, given that they maybe hadn't played that as many fixtures as we thought they played, and obviously they've made up those fixtures now, and they've put some wins on the board, and They weren't a million miles away from the Lions. Granted, the Lions, maybe didn't roll out the greatest squad they could possibly, but Larry Austin looked very good in that game. But yeah, so I'll take the Knicks in that one. Ads, my man?
Knicks.
Gonna zag, Grant?
Nah, Knicks.
And there we are. That is the predictions in the books, and that's pretty much it for us this week. Check out the feeds that we put up. They're entertaining, if anything else, and we didn't really say any kind of apology for things that didn't really unfold the way we wanted them to on the day. We couldn't go live as much as we wanted to because the Wi-Fi kept dropping out, and we couldn't do this, that, and the other.
Plus, we couldn't hear each other at some point. It was so loud. That arena was buzzing. Crazy loud.
But yeah, thanks guys at home and whatnot for listening. For people in the arena as well for listening and giving us tweets and sending pictures of us from a kind of espionage angle from the crowd, inconspicuously. I can see you kind of thing. I had a few of them. That was fun.
Share them to the group.
They were on Twitter. Yeah, someone tweeted them out. A few people did. But anything to add before we go, Ad? You'll get involved probably with this question in a minute.
Okay.
Anything to plug before we tackle that?
No, not really. Hit me.
Grant, my man.
I've already mentioned it. Steve Timoney interview with the new owner. So he was amazing. Gave me a good quality amount of time. 2 hours he gave me of his time. So that will be released over almost like a 3-part series on Gladcast.
Nice.
So check that out. I mean, who's got an hour and 40 minutes to listen to guys talk basketball? You know what I mean? So
nice, awesome.
So 3 kind of 30 minutes, 31 minutes, I think, most of them are. So check that out. That first one will go out at some point this week.
Well, yeah, good. Check that out. I definitely will. Should be exciting. We've had a number of questions come in over the last couple of weeks. We've not got around to that many of them. I'll finish the show just with this one, although I'm worried it might spark a big debate. But
it's late. I'm tired here.
But we may dedicate some of the other questions on the show next week. Depending on what happens during the week, we'll obviously talk fixtures and whatnot's been going on and any topics that arise. But there's some good questions on there. I think so. There's at least 10 on there. But we had this one came in and it was prior to the finals. I think they wanted maybe us to tackle it then. It's from someone who's called themselves an instigator with a fake email by the looks of it, unless trouble@trouble.uk exists, which is highly unlikely. And the message reads, so probably more for Pabz than the others, but who are you picking out of Gino and Ramon and why? But for Pabz, how are you ever picking Ramon? And that's in capitals as well. How are you ever picking Ramon?
Well,
who wants to go first?
Well, it's simple because Ramon's been in the league a lot longer, achieved a lot more, and is still in the league doing what Ramon does. And he's now a giant, and he's an absolute geezer.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way, for the poster. Absolutely amazing. I framed it and put it on the wall. I'll share that picture on Twitter soon. But I framed that picture and put it up.
Seen this picture. I heard about this the other day. I've not seen this picture.
Oh, I will share it with the group. And
yeah,
indeed,
you did all right.
The BBL World
today. He got his poster.
I did.
He got some GB wear.
The hat. I need to give you some money for the hat, man. It was awesome. It's awesome.
You can have the hat.
Oh, it's just.
I was going to bring one for you, but I didn't have any more spare, so I'll give you one next time.
Grant, my mate. I mean, what?
Why is Grant turning into an Andy Warhol?
Yeah, his camera freaks out.
This did this last week.
Yeah, mine's knackered and his freaks out.
You
want to weigh in on that quickly, Gino or Ramon?
We're probably 3 guys that go for, he's done it. How many seasons? I've quickly opened up. He was at Newcastle for 3, then went to Slovakia, and then came back to Newcastle for another 1, 2, 3, 4. He's now in Manchester 5. He's been in our league for 8 seasons. And he's been a standout player for all 8 seasons. Whether it's he's having to lead his team in points, assists, scoring from wherever, Ramon's the man. And I actually don't think you can compare. We've talked about this before, being like, see if Gino had done one more season, then I'd be up for comparing.
2 more seasons for me. It's that longevity thing. I mean, Gino was special. He's one of the best players I've ever seen in this. In and I don't say that lightly, but on raw talent and ability and what he could do with the ball, he was special. There's no doubt about it. But if you're gonna talk about who's the GOAT overall, it's got to be Fletch. And Gino would probably admit that too, because he's done more in this country than he has. He's won more. He continues to do what he does. And yeah, he's just an unbelievable player. And, every weekend we have a really good chat. He's just a dude. It's as simple as that.
Curious to see. And if this could be one thing, obviously Gino's gone off playing League One Germany and doing okay, like for that division stats wise. Looking at his numbers here, he's generally being his team are 9 and 6. He's playing about the same minutes as he was playing in Leicester. He's shooting the ball about the same from the field, a little bit less from the 3-point line, but his 3 throws are up. His assists are slightly down, probably playing a different role, obviously, or clearly playing maybe a little more of an off the ball role. Does he then obviously he'll then re-enter the debate if he does ever come back to the BBL, which would be exciting.
What I was going to say is that the way the league's going, what's to say he won't come back to the BBL?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think he might be one of those guys that does come back at some point, and we'd welcome him back with open arms.
Well, there you are, Mr. Instigator. I didn't know the lads would go that way inclined. I'll give you my take on it quite briefly as possible, because I realise Grant's. Grant has. I mean, look at his face. He's just gone. What? His eyes are bright blue. It's insane. He looks like a Pabz.
That sounds quite scary.
It's really weird. I don't know if we'll take this for granted, or as gratis perhaps, but I consider Gino's first season in the BBL to be the better of the two. His higher efficiency, he scored more points per game. He played more minutes per game. He had more of an effect on his team in that sense. Maybe it's because his teammates weren't as good as they were in the second season, because that maybe you could argue that team around him was slightly better. But in that 2020-21 season, people forget the MVP in terms of our show and what we talk about wasn't as big of a distance as we remember. In terms of vote, we were almost split between Ramon and Gino. Because let's not forget that season, Ramon led the league in points scored and he led the league in assists. And that's not been done. I don't know if that's been done, I was going to say very often. I'm not sure if that's been done, period. Granted, the team around him wasn't as strong. But the second reason is that season they came head to head and Ramon beat Gino.
Yeah.
Like, they won the playoffs. Like, they didn't really get fine. They didn't win the league. They met head to head in the playoffs, and Ramon beat Gino, and then went on to beat the Lions in the final with a team that only really went 6 deep and had injury problems all season long and consistency issues with the big man. Was it Evan? Was it Maxwell? Had some great games. Couldn't rebound the ball. Was 7 foot plus, which is insane. But Ramon came out on top that season, and granted, the season after that team kind of capitulated and they didn't make the playoffs and whatnot. But I don't know.
Does Gino's kind of stature or position for maybe some of us, and this might be me as well, see, because of the COVID lockdown, when we didn't get to see games, was Gino's first season was that season?
Maybe, yeah. No, I think it was, yeah.
Does that change opinions? Because obviously, we were only able to see his game through YouTube or BBL Player, whatever you watch games on. Had we been able to see him more closely, like, I think I only got to see Gino obviously last season properly. And he had Whelan, Jackson, Loving around him. It'd be really interesting to see if other people think that, like, because Ramon, we've seen Ramon for however many seasons I just said, 9 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we've all seen Ramon do things in games that remember. I probably didn't get to see enough of the eye test on Gino to hold him as close. I see what he's done on paper. I see what he's did watching games online, but that's how I rank players, in my opinion, of who I've seen, who's my favourite. And like some of the stuff I've seen Ramon do in a game, being there in the arena or whatever in a final, or even just a game at like the Emirates or Newcastle, whatever, is like you're like, wow, this guy's legit and can win games on his own.
Next level. Definitely.
So I hope Gino does come back to the BBL, because then I think it'll be good to see where his level's gone. If playing in this kind of scene, perceived higher level, obviously if he moves on to other leagues and goes and gets a career he deserves, then brilliant for him. But it's always cool when you see guys come back to see how they've changed their game and what they've learned. So yeah.
Definitely. Well, that's it. That went smoother than I thought. I didn't know where we were all going to go with that. So the instigator didn't instigate a thing. Good. Well done. Good. Nice one. Cheers, fellas. Thank you for a great weekend as well. A very enjoyable Sunday afternoon. I couldn't have wanted to spend it with a finer gentleman, Nicholson included, I guess. Although I often spend a Sunday afternoon with him. But yeah, it was good. So Ads, Grant, thank you very much. Everybody at home.
I thought you were going to be taller.
Don't know how to respond to that, really.
That was on the night. That was one of the funniest things when Sam Decker said, "You're not above the rim," and we all went, "No." And en masse, most of us were like, maybe 20 years ago, or maybe a few years ago. Ads, I've never been above the rim.
Yeah, and also when Blood then brought it up, it's like, what's everyone doing to us? Are you guys still out on the floor? No.
Laying on the floor, maybe. Yeah.
He's 54 and going up against Costa Koufos in practice, and we're like, no.
We've got to get him on and talk about that. I want to know, because he said Sharma as well. He goes head to head with Sharma in training quite often. Yeah. He's going to be getting. He's going to be getting some of that.
I'll tell you what, right?
The better of some of those matchups.
I was chatting to Vince the other day about, old school players and everything like that. And I was like, has anyone beat Nigel Lloyd at 3-pointers yet? He's like, nope.
Fucking hell. That's insane.
Well, you don't lose it. You really don't. I remember when we did that show with Dorsey, Pabz.
Yeah,
we were talking about John White, and he's like, "Nah, can still shoot the lights out."
That miss. That guy was an incredible shooter.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah. I'd urge you guys to go on YouTube and put in like Birmingham Bullets versus Leopards, and I was watching this game last night with Eric Burks, and because we mentioned him, and I was like, that guy was so good.
Eric Burks was mad. Yeah,
it's just insane. He's insanely
good. He could do anything, though. He could go to the basket. He could pull up, shoot.
This one game I watched, Pabz, he literally, the Birmingham are winning by like 15, and he just goes off on one.
Oh, that one. Yes.
Yeah, and single-handedly.
That arena's huge. What arena is that in? Is that a final?
No, it's the one we were in yesterday, but it looks really different.
Yeah, it looks completely different. There's like a corner bit, isn't there?
Yeah.
It looks insane. That game's amazing. He leads that charge, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Eric Burks. Phenomenal. Right, fellas. Thank you very much. Everybody at home, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more of the same, most likely. Until then, take it easy. We will speak to you soon.
Versace and Gucci for your body, oh baby. No do, gotta for me. No do, say that, oh. No do, shakara, oh. No do, gotta for me, oh. Girl, you're beautiful too. My number one in tutu.